guys, welcome to my channel. My name is ReadingBear and I hope you are ready for some more stories. And today, we'll take a look at some new entitled people content. If you enjoyed my content, please don't forget to subscribe to my channel and post some bear emojis in the comment. And now, let's dive right into the stories.
The first story is titled, Letting Agent Secretly Living in My House? So yesterday we found out that our middle-aged letting agent has been hiding in the small spare room of our terraced house for 2 days. He came over unannounced to inspect the house as our landlords have decided to manage the property themselves. We assumed he'd left and saw the small spare room door was locked with the light left on. We don't have keys for that room so couldn't turn it off. I texted asking him to come and turn the light off and he admitted that he was here in the house. After we confronted him, he proceeded to lie and say he'd informed us all that he was staying here for a few days. None of us had any clue. He said he's planning on living here on a permanent basis and has signed a contract and paid deposit etc. etc. Our landlords are our neighbors and they said that's not true. The landlords said they think he should leave and hand over his keys. Thankfully, he did. However, he's locked the door to the spare room again and we suspect he has another set of keys. I got a ladder and looked through the window and all his stuff is still there. Stale uncovered croissants, clothes, alcohol, grooming products and something that looks disturbingly like a flashlight amongst the detritus. I've rung the council and the police non-emergency number and it's turning out to be a complex problem. It's not a council house so it's down to the landlords to act upon it. One other aspect is COVID. The sneaky bastard told us he traveled into London on public transport. When I probed him on it, he couldn't even tell me what precautions he took against the virus. We have all been careful and abided by the government guidelines and it scared everyone having this rondo creep in the house. What can I do? Update. So, the landlords have spoken to him and he's coming to collect his sorted arrangement of paraphernalia sometime soon. By the sounds of it he knows it's impossible to be here without a contract. We've got some hard Albanian neighbors who are waiting to step in if it gets ugly. Happy days. The next story is titled, Homeowner Association President as Spineless Coward. TL. Drive. My homeowner association president probably disrespected my wife, finds himself a worthy judge of human value, thinks he is a legal body, wishes he was a parking enforcement officer, and is too much of a coward to address me directly. Good morning, all. Let me preface this by saying my wife and I are renting our house and moving away from this neighborhood. Had this not been the case, I would have leveraged the clothes off back to screw this clown. The day we moved in, 2 years ago, this dipshit was out for my wife and me. We are the youngest in the neighborhood and the newest residents. There is a large, shitty grass field across the street from my house referred to as a common area, which is code for dog toilet. This is where residents let their dogs shit with impunity, because they are deemed worthy by the almighty homeowner association lord. Anyway, first week we move in. We naturally have a tasteful housewarming party in the middle of summer, invite friends and family, and they fill our driveway with cars and some park in the gravel easement on the common area across the street from my house. Homeowner association shitbag marches right up to my door during the party to complain about us destroying the grass. Cars are on gravel, first sign of stupidity. But this is where crap gets interesting. My father-in-law answers the door, informs the homeowner association turd that he is not the homeowner, but will get the homeowner. My father-in-law gets my wife, who is an Asian American female, and she comes to the door to deal with this guy. The dude refuses to talk to her. He makes her go get me. I promptly tell the guy to duck off, and he does. However, I didn't realize what took place before telling him to pound sand until my wife told me after he left. I'm not saying something went on there, but that crap sure doesn't look right to me. Then a miscellaneous amount of bullshit happens to us over the next 2 years. Every single time something happens in that grass lot, I get blamed. Regardless of my level of involvement. One of homeowner association president's, despot, buddies go on this neighborhood Facebook group to make some shitty comments about how I mow my grass and walk my dog. Not stating it was about me directly but worded in a way that everyone would know. I guess my mowing and dog walking skills aren't up to par. Then, to my infinite joy, the entire neighborhood crushes this guy in Facebook before I can even make a comment. Loved it. More parking nonsense. My wife carpools and her friend parks a car in front of our house 2 days a week. Homeowner association Nazi and his buddies ring my doorbell incessantly to ask for the car to be moved. It is not impeding traffic or violating a bylaw. Just an excuse to drop by and try to give me a heart attack. My wife and I are getting ready to rent the house. We pay our nominal homeowner association fee annually. It is supposed to pay for mowing that crap farm across the street from my house. I was always a little suspect regarding the amount we pay in relation to the level of maintenance achieved over there, but I'm too lazy to engage in a full legal battle with this moron. Anyway, we need to get a receipt for paying our dues so we can present it to the rental manager. My wife goes down there to get it. The guy has no receipts. Nothing. Then he tells my wife she needs to come back at all these arbitrary times. She works like a normal human, so this is incredibly difficult. Finally, my wife threatens to have the homeowner association audited, and a handwritten receipt appears in my mailbox. Final straw. As I said, my wife and I are moving soon. I had to back a trailer into my driveway to prepare for the move. To get it in, I had to drive my truck into the grass mudhole across the street from my house. Of course, I get stuck, and dig the grass up. I'm like shit, this guy is going to be up my butt over this. So, I start making plans to rake the ruts and put grass seed over it before he wages war on me. Well, I couldn't move fast enough. I did it on Sunday night around 5 p.m. He had called the cops on me for a destruction of property complaint by 7 a.m. on Monday. The cops laughed it off and just told me to give it the old college try when fixing the grass. Needless to say, I had some words with that homeowner association president. I told him how much of a whiny coward he was, and that all he had to do was come confirm with me that I was going to rectify his crap field. Plus, a bunch of screaming. 10 more days and we're moving. Thanks for the rant space. The next story is titled, FHOA, Rant. I'm probably going to end up with a lawsuit against them. This homeowner association has been a problem from the very beginning. It's a gated community of condominiums. First time I get there I ask to have my name put in the system so I can get in through the gate. They refused until my deed was finalized. I forget all the exact terminology, which can be up to a month. In a conference call with the title company, they told the homeowner association that in the 10 years they've been in business they've never heard of a homeowner association not accepting my temporary deed. So, when she wants to get into the community, she has to wait for another car to come by to let her in? Yeah, that's what she'll have to do. Fast forward about a year later, they're doing a re-roofing project. I wake up to water flowing down the walls and ruining my laminate floors. Homeowner association manager says that this has happened in a few other buildings because of vibration of the pipes during the construction. The person that was dispatched to fix the problem told me that he wasn't supposed to say anything, but the actual cause was from the roofers hitting a sprinkler line. My insurance company said walls were the homeowner association's responsibility, but they'd cover the rest. So, the homeowner association decided some spackle would make it good as new. Refused to test for mold, replace drywall, nothing. Unrelated to water damage, a year later, I asked the homeowner association to reattach my AC disconnect box to the stucco because it was hanging off, and had been since I moved in. Of course, in doing so, my AC stopped working. I asked if they'd reimburse me. Well, I don't understand what you think happened. All they did was reattach the box to the wall. Whatever went wrong was with your wiring. That's not our fault. The AC technician said that it looks like they drilled into a wire. With his advice, using the term unlicensed electrician, they did reimburse me. Now recently, there was a leak from the third floor. It started at the end of July. Only stained ceilings, so I ignored it, not wanting to fight with the homeowner association. There's emails back and forth between me, the homeowner association, and the agents for the 2 units above me. Apparently, the leak continued on some days in the second floor unit. On the 15th of this month the leak reached my unit again. Water was leaking for over 24 hours. They sent the maintenance guy overnight. The leak began at 7 p.m., with the intention of turning the water off. Before that, I went directly to the third floor to ask them to turn off the water since I was waiting on a call back. The lady had more roaches than I've ever seen in my life. They immediately began crawling out when she opened the door. So that's where the roaches must be coming from. Completely forgot to ask about turning off the water out of sheer shock and bewilderment. When the maintenance guy came in, he said he didn't have authorization to turn off the water. The next morning the homeowner association manager said there was no leak at all. It was the tenant flooding her own sink. I called the plumbing company she mentioned came out to the unit and they told me that the bathroom sink's faucet was leaking every time it was used. So, my insurance company sent out a water mitigation company. They removed flooring, walls, ceiling, and my bathroom vanity. Insurance covers everything except walls and ceiling, which is the homeowner association's responsibility. Guess who doesn't want to replace them? The manager is caught up on the fact that no one asked her for permission, even though the walls legally have to be removed. She's demanding to talk to my insurance company because she wants to know who gave the permission for the removal. Insurance company doesn't want to talk to her because this shouldn't even be an issue. So that call is set up for tomorrow. The water mitigation company is telling me that the walls should have been removed for the first leak too, and that I should be contacting a public adjuster or attorney. Everything and everyone is telling me that the homeowner association shouldn't be giving me this much of a problem. And the worst part? These duckers are collecting $400 per month in dues. Across the entire community, that's almost $1.5 million a year. They have no excuse to be such cheap a-holes. I'll probably have to end up taking this to court. The last story is titled, 3-Unit Homeowner Association. One crazy owner threatening lawsuits. Seriously FHOA. Our homeowner association, in Massachusetts, is made up of just 3 units. We are in an old Victorian that was turned into 3 condos. The association is made up of me, single female, mid-40s. Unit 2, single male, about same age, and Unit 3, soon-to-be divorced female, mid-60s, and her adult daughter. Because Unit 3 is much larger than the rest of the building, the fees are broken up so that Unit 3 pays more in homeowner association fees, but everyone has equal say in voting. Until recently, the husband in Unit 3 was in charge of condo management, which is pretty much just making sure the common area bills get paid. But the couple is divorcing, and he is moving out, the wife and adult daughter are staying. The problem is that the wife is mentally unstable. I think the daughter might also have issues, but she is not involved in condo management/upkeep. Since buying the place in October 2019, I've had a couple of bad interactions with her where I unintentionally upset her, very easy to do, and she now refuses to speak to me or even acknowledge my presence when we are in the same common areas together. It's awkward, but I'll do whatever I can to keep the peace. Now we need someone new to handle condo finances. She suggested Unit 2 do it or herself. Unit 2 and I know putting her in charge of anything would be disastrous, but Unit 2 does not want to be in charge either. I can do it, but I know she will object. In the past, our association has only met a couple of times per year and has been very slow about some of the upkeep that needs to get done, finish painting the house and repair some of the wood siding and parts of the porch. It should have been done 2 years ago, but nothing happened. So, we started again this summer. A painter was hired. Unit 3 told us the painter would also do the repairs in Unit 2, and I agreed with her in 2 separate conversations. Jump to this week. Unit 3 writes a note, her main method of communication, accusing us of being too slow in getting things done and suggesting we need to hire an outside management company in order for the homeowner association to function better. She then drops this bomb that someone has been touching and moving her things in the basement and is threatening legal action. Neither of us has any idea what she is talking about. She sent a note a few months ago about the importance of not touching each other's property, and I shrugged it off because I don't touch her stuff. Unit 2 and I feel like a management company for such a small homeowner association would be an unnecessary expense. However, today Unit 3 told us she would take us to court if we didn't agree to a management company and that she would only pay for 1/3 of the fee. She's clearly spiraling out of control, but we don't know how to manage someone like this. A quick Google of her name and address brings up a story about her harassing the former condo owners to the point of police involvement. Neither Unit 2 nor I want things to get to that point, but I don't like this idea of giving in to the demands of a manipulative crazy person. Update. Well, we had a condo meeting the other day and things went about as well as I expected, i.e., total disaster. Things started off okay and we agreed to consider Unit 3's proposal of hiring outside management and would hold a yes or no vote once we had proposals on services and fees from a few different companies. But once Unit 3 realized that management companies charge by taking a % of the condo fee, she said she would take the association to court to change her fee rate. According to the condo contract, the condo fee, cost of building maintenance is split up by size of the condo, I'm guessing this is the way it is done with most homeowner associations. Since her condo is the largest, top 2 floors of the building, she pays the biggest share. She went on a rant about how she doesn't think she gets enough value out of the common areas for what she is paying. Made no sense. When Unit 2 got frustrated and basically said, "What more do you want from us? We are already accommodating you by looking into this condo management thing." She totally lost her crap and began accusing us of dismissing her concerns, exploiting her, and making her feel threatened. She spoke about how she took previous condo owners who were ganging up on her to arbitration and won, and said she would do it again. Up until this point she still hadn't spoken about her issue with people moving her things, and when we finally asked about it, she was very offended when we suggested that maybe the plumbers working in the basement inadvertently moved her stuff. This is when she accused me of tampering with her washing machine settings. I am not making this up. I have no idea why she thinks I would tamper with her settings. I have never touched any of her things, but she does not believe me. In the end, we had to shut down the meeting while she was still yelling because there was no reasoning with her, and nothing was getting resolved. We received a note later apologizing for her outburst and saying she would not contest the condo fees, but also declaring that she would only communicate with us through a management company, and until we find one, she would only communicate through letters. The next day we got a letter saying she was building a structure around her storage area so she can keep it locked up. Fine. But again, we haven't even voted on getting a management company yet, and after days of calling around have only found one that will consider an association as small as ours. This was our first meeting without her husband around, and so both Unit 2 and I are not looking forward to what will happen next. I love my condo and am determined to stay and not let this mentally ill person bully me. I honestly think she has some sort of paranoid personality disorder. But Unit 2 was really rattled by the whole thing and is planning on selling his condo as soon as we get the building painted. The day after everything happened, I actually went to the police just to record my experience with this owner and to let them know that I was concerned things might escalate. They can't really do anything, but at least I have it on record. Now I'm just calling around to find an attorney to meet with. I really just need to figure out how we can protect ourselves from this crazy person while also getting the day-to-day homeowner association business done. Did I tell you she also recorded our meeting without telling us? Once she started to rant, I took out my phone and said, "I think we need to record this meeting," and she just responded by saying, "Oh, I've been recording this meeting the whole time." Seriously? Duck Homeowner Association. Thanks for listening.